today we have Miss Cami the Conqueror that will knock out poverty, knock out pain. She is here in full effect, in full force. How you doing today, Miss Cami?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. This is really cool.
Yeah, thank you for for gracing us with your presence. Um, have a couple things I want to ask you that I'm pretty sure everybody is at the edge of their seat wanting to hear, like, what's next?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm super excited. I'm going to be starting some new programs for women entrepreneurs and business owners. And I'm just super excited to do more speaking engagements and really just help people with their faith, their fitness, and their finances.
Cool, cool. I love that. The three F's that you didn't mind getting out of school. Um, okay. What's the
Lord
single
knows I got
most
a lot of
urgent
apps.
message? You too? Yeah, type in we're not gonna talk about school.
Yeah.
So what would be the single most urgent message from your story, from your life, that you feel people need to hear right now?
That's a great question, Chris. I really think that the most urgent message from my story is women are more likely to be in poverty from either an illness or injury or even an accident, just because they simply just don't have enough resources usually to be able to protect themselves financially. And especially in retirement, I'm seeing a lot of women in their retirement age and even beyond that are having to either go back to work or still continuing to work into their 70s and 80s. And it's not just um, localized to women, but men as well. But as far as poverty goes, women are more likely to be in poverty, especially in retirement. So, my most urgent message is that women in their 30s and 40s need to start learning how to protect themselves now. It's not too late, even in your 50s, but especially as you're approaching retirement, you really need to have those financial protections in place. So, if you were to get injured or ill, from a chronic illness or even have an accident like fall and break your hip, then you'll have the financial means to take care of yourself and not just rely on Social Security.
Okay, okay. So the short story is protect yourself financially, right?
That's it.
Cool, cool. Um, so let's say that there's someone who's kind of feeling stuck right now. They're like, I don't know what to do. I can't see my way out. What's one small thing that you can tell them to do differently that would change their life?
Also, a good question because one thing that's really helped me is just going back to the basics of things that you can control. So, if you're feeling super overwhelmed, super stuck, just little things like cooking for yourself, not eating out, cooking for yourself, nourishing foods, getting adequate rest and sleep. And even have those nourishing relationships, because a lot of times people tend to isolate themselves. Even if you just have one person that you can talk to, if you don't have one person, then you really got to start talking to God a little bit more.
Okay. I like to talk to God because he's gonna always tell you the truth. He don't necessarily care about your feelings, but he loves you. He loves you like, look, stop doing that. Okay, Lord.
That's right. That's so true.
Yeah. So if you had to give somebody a word, like a statement, a quote, that they could take and wrap up and they could keep that one quote, what would it be?
Ooh, my favorite is one of my own quotes, which is knock down the wall of misery and build your bridge to destiny.
Okay, I heard that. There was a famous lady in my speaking class. She said that, and I was like, I was ready to go punch through the walls or something. Like, I got excited. Right? That's right. Okay. How did you come up with that? Like, what was the background behind that word? I'm gonna call it a word. Like, we have a word from God, a word from Candy. What was the
The
background behind that
message.
word?
Yeah. Yeah, it was really when I was a teenager. I was writing a lot of poetry, and it was actually a line in one of my poems. And little did I know that, during the time of being bullied, abused, and a lot of turmoil, that one of the lines from my poems at that time would become one of my signature power quotes.
Wow. So from your pain, you came up with something that helps you or takes you to your destiny. That's sweet. I like that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I like that.
Amen.
So a barrier is like a wall, like something you got to break through. Have you ever had a personal barrier or something you personally had to break through?
Yes, many, many, many. But one that really stands out is overcoming the negative mindset. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate. It's super easy to be negative, but it does take work to have a more positive mindset. You have to talk to yourself every single day. You have to write it down. You have to listen to messages like from Les Brown. You have to really learn how to have a more positive mindset. And it really, what two things that really helped me with that was giving my life to Jesus in 2013, and he really renewed my mind. But
Mhm.
secondly, also in 2013, I did a 9-week course for stress and anxiety, hypnotherapy with a company called Brain Tap. And
Mhm.
Dr. Patrick Porter developed this app, and I did a in-person course, but then he developed this app. So I encourage everybody to check it out. I've told my clients over the years to look it up because it is so powerful. It basically just helps you rewire your subconscious brain to learn how to cope better. And so when we're younger, nobody teaches us how to cope with stress and anxiety. So then you fill the void with, self-medicating, and that doesn't work. So those two things really helped rewire my mind to be more positive.
Oh wow. I'm I need to get that app. I'm just saying, like that's
Everybody needs to get it.
yeah, like y'all heard it first here. Go get the app, hypnotherapy, rewire all the messed up circuitry. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Um, I have so if I ask you for 3 words that would describe you and your story, what would those 3 words be?
Encouraging, motivating, and inspiring.
Encouraging, motivating, and inspiring. I am I. Okay, I like that. I am I. Okay, I like you. You can like write a rap song on that.
E, is it E for encouraging?
See that? That's what happened when rappers hear stuff. We like put our own letters. EMI. I didn't want to
EMI.
think. See, EMI. I'll do a low voltage electricity, so EMI is a bad thing.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Electromagnetic interference.
Yeah, we
I think
don't
that's why
want
my
that.
brain was like, "Don't go there."
It's okay. We'll
Uh,
just change it all now.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go and they be like, "Hey, y'all are having your EMI issues." And I'm like, "No, we're not." Yes, you are. Um, last question. Well, I say last question. I know I'm gonna have another one. But what would you say is the biggest misconception that keeps people to stay motivated? Like, how do you continue to be motivated? How do you like continue to keep going in the midst of hard times?
Yeah. It, that's a great question, and it is a challenging thing, but also it's one thing that I'm going to say is what everybody says, and it's the truth. But obviously, discipline, motivation is not going to keep you going just by itself. You're going to have discipline. So that's why I say in another one of your questions, to go back to the basics. So if
Mhm.
you have your basics nailed down, like your food prep, your eating habit, your sleep habits, those little disciplined daily habits are going to sustain you during times where you're feeling stuck or not motivated, because you know those things that you can count on, and it'll just be like clockwork. So those things you don't have to think about, spend too much mental energy trying to reinvent your daily routine or whatever.
Mhm.
But discipline is going to be like your best friend, because if you don't have those consistent daily habits, motivation is not going to get you to where you want to go just by itself. And motivation is one of those things where some days you have it and some days you don't. And just recently, I was sick and I went for a walk every single day because that's what I do. And regardless of how I felt, I still got up, at a decent time. I still, got myself put together. I still went for a walk. I still cooked my food. And those things are just ingrained in me. So if you have those basic things down, when things go wrong, then, or if there's just not like your ideal situation, then those things are going to sustain you through times when you're not motivated.
Gotcha. I kind of needed that about a month ago when my back was out. Um,
Mhm.
but like you, I have to agree because I made myself get up, even though it took 5 minutes to get out of bed, but I made myself get up. So I wholeheartedly agree those basics and that discipline, that even when your body's like, I don't want to do this, you're like, you're going to do it. I have to
Yeah.
agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is one of the hardest things. Most people don't want to feel discomfort. And
Yeah.
so during times of discomfort, it's easy to go into those places of comfort and self-soothing and, our childhood programming, let's say. And so it really is a self discipline. It's a daily practice, just like it's a daily practice to have a positive mindset. So those two things go hand in hand for sure.
Wow. Well, I know one thing. If y'all need some motivation, grab some Les Brown and some Cami Hostetler. They're gonna get you right. You know what I'm saying? Like you just need to fall in line. So for those who've hung with us this far, we want to say thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching. And if you want to catch more of this, on August 9th, it's going to be 4 hours, 240 minutes of life-changing speeches, motivation. Cammie's going to be there. Lord, she going to speak. She going to rock the house, y'all. So want y'all to come on out, check it out. And Cammie, thank you so much for gracing us with your time. We
Thank you,
appreciate you
Chris.
so much.
I
All
appreciate you
right.
too. Thank you.